The Shrek 5 teaser is fucking fraudulent. You think you saw a nostalgic family reunion. In reality, you watched a corporate heist. The studio wants you to scream at the returning cast. They want you to drool over the smash mouth music. I refuse to play along. When you look closely at this 80-second pile of marketing garbage, you realize the creative team has lost their goddamn minds. Let's start with the most obvious crime, the fragmentation of the family. Shrek has three children, but the swamp departure and the prison cell only show two. We see Fergus and Farkle standing there like brain dead background actors, while Felicia has left the swamp entirely. She is shown briefly flying on a witch's broom past a clock tower, waving as she departs for Magic College. The writers are using this Magic College separation as a cheap catalyst, to force the family to travel to further away and rescue her. You expect a family comedy to keep the family together. Instead, well, we got a fragmented mess. This is the first detail you need to know. DreamWorks started the movie by splitting the triplets to force a generic rescue plot. Look at the triplets. They are teenagers now. Fergus sits on the floor with shaggy hair and a dirty vest. Farkle leans against a stone wall. The animators turned them into brain dead gym bros. In the swamp scene, you can actually see whey protein and whey ice cream sitting on their coffee table. They have bigger muscles than brains, and they never speak a single word. They behave as cardboard cutouts. The animators even gave Farkle a plastic bead bracelet. Look at this shit. The beads spell out FARKLE. This represents lazy character design. Actually, it is more like they gave up on writing him a personality and just labeled him like a piece of lost luggage. The writers could write dialogue to show who he is. They chose to label him instead. Fiona spends her entire screen time face palming on a wooden bench. She is mute. She has zero lines. The movie represents her as a tired mother who gave up on life. Her warrior energy from the old sequels is dead. The missing Felicia remains the biggest mystery. Zendaya is the voice actor, and the studio announced her with massive hype. Yet, we get zero vocal teases because she is completely mute in her brief broom riding cameo. Hiding her voice in the trailer makes sense if she plays a key role, but splitting the family to write a generic college rescue story is, well, just lazy. The humor in this trailer is ancient. The characters walk down a dark alley and encounter a creepy snowman. The snowman carrots his way into a Frozen parody. He asks Shrek if he wants to date a snowman, right? Disney released Frozen in 2013. The writers are making a joke about a 13-year-old movie. This represents cultural stagnation. Then we get the gingerbread man. Gingy stands next to two female cookies. One wears a glittery blue bikini, the other wears pink fishnet stockings. Gingy bends over and shows off a giant pink frosted glittery butt. The internet went crazy for this caked up meme. This joke belongs at a cheap internet parody, and it reminds me of those old Flash animations from 2005, though those actually had some soul to them, unlike this. Anyway, the classic Shrek movies parodied fairy tales to expose corporate greed. Shrek 5 uses butt gags to get TikTok clicks. The writers gave us a crude, bottom of the barrel prison joke about dropping magical soap. It is a cheap, low effort gag about bending over in a cell. This represents a massive creative retreat. To escape the guards, the characters literally play patty cake. The writers return to the exact same juvenile visual gags from 25 years ago. The humor is, stuck in a loop. They are going backward. The background contains a pumpkin carriage styled as a New York taxi. It has the black and yellow checkers. We also see a dragon headed onion carriage. These details are cute, which actually reminds me of the onion carriage toy I had as a kid, and I'll talk about the soundtrack in a second. But that toy actually had more texture than this rendering. Anyway, these details also show how small the world has become. Far Away used to parody Beverly Hills. Now it parodies basic city streets. The soundtrack uses the Smash Mouth hook to bypass your brain. The studio wants you to feel nostalgic. They want you to remember your childhood. They use the music as a shield to hide the flat writing and the sterile visuals. You hear the beat drop and you forget that the family is missing a child. Shrek 5 behaves as a manufactured corporate product. The teaser lacks the subversive edge of the original films. It trades sharp satire for focused nostalgia. The crew replaced clever writing with cheap butt jokes and outdated Disney parodies. You deserve better than a sanitized cash grab. If you want real storytelling, you need to fight for it. I am building an army to take over Hollywood. We are going to save cinema one movie at a time. Share this video. Let's make the studio bosses pay for this lazy shit. See you on the other side.